In a kingdom filled with luxury, power, and admiration, there lived one woman everyone talked about. Princess Alara, beautiful beyond imagination, graceful, elegant, captivating. Men crossed mountains and kingdoms just to see her smile. Princes arrived with treasures. Warriors fought in tournaments to win her favor. Poets wrote endless songs about her beauty. And yet, she rejected them all. Not because they were unworthy, but because admiration had become her greatest pleasure. Attention was no longer something she enjoyed. It was something she needed. Over time, praise turned into pride, and pride slowly became arrogance. Princess Alara believed something dangerous. No man could ever resist her, not one, until one ordinary afternoon changed everything. As her royal carriage moved through the busy marketplace, surrounded by guards, banners, and admiration, her eyes landed on someone unexpected. Not a prince, not a nobleman, not a decorated warrior, just a simple young man, standing quietly in the middle of the crowd. He was helping an elderly woman carry heavy water pots. No audience, no reward, no desire for recognition, just kindness. Simple, honest, pure. And yes, he was remarkably handsome. Strong features, warm eyes, quiet confidence. But that wasn't what captured her attention. It was his presence. He seemed calm in a world full of noise, grounded in a world obsessed with appearance, as if nothing around him had power over him. Then came the moment no one could have predicted. Princess Alara's carriage passed directly beside him, a moment where every other man would have stared in awe. But he didn't even look at her. Not once. Not even for a second. And in that moment, something unfamiliar entered the princess's heart. Not love, not yet, but curiosity, shock, and a bruised ego. For the first time in her life, Princess Alara felt invisible, and she hated that feeling. That night, she could not stop thinking about him. Who was he? Why was he different? Why did he not care? So she ordered her servants to investigate. The next morning, the answers arrived. His name was Adam, a common man, known throughout the town for honesty, discipline, and deep faith. He worked hard, spoke gently, prayed regularly, helped others, and never chased status or attention. But then came the detail that frustrated her most. He was newly married, to a woman named Sophia. Sophia was beautiful in her own quiet way, gentle, kind-hearted, warm, and most importantly, deeply loved by Adam. Now most people would have stopped there. But Princess Alara was not used to rejection. To her, this was no longer curiosity. It had become a challenge. So she began arranging accidental meetings. In the marketplace, in palace gardens, near the city fountain, again, and again, and again. But Adam never changed. Always respectful, always polite, always distant. No flirting, no nervousness, no weakness, nothing. And strangely, that only made her desire him more. Because what we cannot control often becomes what we obsess over. Days passed, then weeks, until finally Princess Alara invited Adam privately to the palace. A reward for being a good citizen. At least, that was the excuse. Adam accepted, and soon entered the royal chamber. Golden candles flickered softly. Velvet curtains moved gently in the evening breeze. Soft music echoed through the hall. Everything around him was designed to weaken resolve, to make any ordinary man surrender. But Adam was not ordinary. He entered calmly, composed, as if he already understood the test before it began. Princess Alara stepped closer, closer than necessary. Her voice softened, almost vulnerable. Then she asked the question that had been haunting her for weeks. Why are you so uninterested? Silence. A long, heavy silence. Then Adam looked at her with calm certainty and replied, "What is not mine can never become my desire." The room fell completely silent. No one had ever spoken to her like that before. Not harshly, not cruelly, but with absolute conviction. And somehow, that hurt far more. In that moment, Princess Alara understood something for the first time. All her beauty, all her wealth, all her royal power. Yet she lacked something this simple man possessed effortlessly: inner strength, self-control, principles. He could have gained wealth, status, royal favor, an easier life. But he chose loyalty. He chose honor. He chose his wife. And suddenly, Princess Alara saw herself clearly, not as the kingdom saw her, but as she truly was, a woman surrounded by admiration, yet ruled by ego. For the first time in her life, she felt ashamed, not because she had been rejected, but because she realized how empty validation had made her. That night changed her forever. Princess Alara released Adam. Never called for him again, never interfered in his marriage. Instead, she began changing herself. She stopped chasing attention, stopped feeding her vanity, stopped measuring her worth by how much others admired her. And slowly, she became someone entirely different. Kinder, wiser, more humble, more respected than ever before. Not because people feared her beauty, but because they admired her character. Months later, the kingdom noticed the transformation. Their once arrogant princess had become beloved. And Adam? He returned home to Sophia, still loyal, still disciplined, still ordinary, yet somehow extraordinary. And that is the lesson hidden in this story. Beauty can attract attention. Power can attract obedience. But character attracts respect, and respect lasts far longer than desire. So ask yourself, what truly makes a person valuable? Their appearance, their status, their influence, or the things they refuse to compromise? Because in the end, the strongest person in the room is not the richest, not the most admired, not the most desired, but the one who can control themselves. And that changes everything. If you enjoyed this story, watch the next one on your screen. Because the next lesson may change the way you see love, loyalty, and character forever.